And we are live. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Canadian Guy here, and we are back with Palworld. Now, this might be the last time that we do this. I'm not sure. We will have to see. If people are still interested in me continuing this, please let me know. But we're going to get started in a second. I do apologize, but I will reiterate the message that I said yesterday. There is a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that is very exciting, and I've been doing a lot of work. And that means that things are going to be a little bit in flux, especially all the way leading up to Spyro Community Day. Hi, sweetie.
Did you like your zucchini, buddy?
Yeah, why was that there?
So I didn't check the zucchini plant in a while, and I see this massive zucchini. I'm like, what? I didn't check it for like a week. What the? Like, I don't know, dude. Listen, I walked into your office to show you the list of zucchini, buddy.
That's why I put it out. I was like, was she trying to get me to sit on it? Like,
I have to go wrinkle children.
all right. You got this.
Mwah.
Give me 1 second. We are almost done. Just gotta get this alert out. But I can confirm that I do, in fact, have an interview with an OG Insomniac employee. And I'm not going to announce who until they approve the interview. And when they are happy with it and when they are good to go, I will then announce who it is and when you guys will see it. A lot of juicy stuff in there that I'm very excited to share with you guys. To give you an idea, the raw video is almost an hour and 45 minutes long. I have had to refine it down significantly. Just very, like, refine it right down to, you know, I'm going to be trying to aim for an hour, but it may even exceed an hour. And there are a lot of fun stories in there. There's a lot of fun facts about Spyro, confirmations on things. I asked him, which is not really a spoiler because I think there was only 2 women on the original Insomniac team, I think. I'm not sure. I asked him a number of things, questions, and things that fans have had for years. And he answered many of them. And I am absolutely thrilled to have him on. And I can't wait for you guys to see that. But indeed, as one would think, when an interview goes that long, it takes a long time to edit. It takes a long time to refine, a long time to get it down to that's really good. And then afterwards, I'm also going to do a follow-up video that summarizes some of the discoveries that have been made within that interview. Okay, where's my global PAL box? Can you guys hear the game? And can you guys hear me? Probably should have asked that first. But also, we're going to be bringing in some extra pals from an extra save that I have, because why not? I'm going to grab this. Audio seems good in my opinion. Awesome. 10 out of 10. And then, of course, we're going to have... That's the same one? Is it? Huh. Okay, we'll do that. Good video today, buddy. Thank you. I appreciate that. Still hoping that more people watch it. Right now it's sitting a little on the lower end of the totem pole, but that's okay. Some videos are just like that. Some videos take off. Others are, that's how it works. So, okay. So, wanted to show you guys. So, I got my Gale Claw. My Lucky Gale Claw. Blazemut, Nightwing. I gotta adjust a few things over in the PAL box. Game's a bit quiet. Okay. I actually sometimes turn the audio down to give you an idea. This is currently at 40. So sometimes the game is quite loud. So we'll go with 55. There we go. Sparks video was really good. Yeah. It was more than Sparks, of course, but I wanted to just like lead with Sparks and then also be like, but also there's more than just that. You got more than you bargained for. Which sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. We'll see if I change the title of that video or not. But yeah, okay. So now that we're in here, we got Ring of Mercy. I'll grab that. We're about to get to the ore mining site, which is cool. I may have already got the... I like the video. Well, I appreciate that. Okay. So now that we are here, I need to... That's not what I wanted. That's not what I wanted. Okay, I think we're going to have to start building more storage. So we're going to go over here. And we're going to go like this. Also, we will be hosting a Spiral Yap Sesh tomorrow. Tomorrow, we will have a nice Spiral Yap Sesh. I'm excited to be able to do that with you guys. Hold on, let me grab, where is my alpha? There we go. Maybe Sparks will be a side character. Like, yeah, I'm wondering, I'm curious, again, I don't know if this was a case of maybe Lou misspeaking, but I am very curious as to what he means by Sparks having some kind of story element. I'm like, that's really the best way I can kind of describe what was said, is that there seems to be some sort of plot element. Not misleading, misspeaking. I did like that they clarified that Skyland was a separate from Spyro TM. Yes, no, that was something that I was happy when that happened in the interview, where Paul was just like, hey, they are different, hard stop. These are different, they are not the same. One of these things is not like the other, period, right? Fake information, typically, it's not a great idea for them to do fake information. Having said that, I think it has happened once, but it didn't happen with, what's it called? It didn't happen with, it happened once, but it wasn't with Lou. Who was it? It was with, I interviewed him. Oh, goodness. I hope he's still there. It has been years since I've talking with him. I interviewed him. He was one of my first interviews back at Toys for Bob. Was it Chris? No, who was it? Oh, it's gonna bother me. Anyways, one of my first interviews was someone from Toys for Bob. I can't remember his name right now, and forgive me. I feel bad. I feel bad for forgetting. But I believe it is, gosh, it's bugging me. Who was it? Anyway, point is that he was one of the OGs, and I was really happy to be able to do the interview with him. And yeah, what point was I making? I was making a point about something. It was going somewhere, I promise you, but the train has derailed. Misspeaker and misleading. So before there was, I asked 2 questions beforehand, and it was, will there be cheat codes and will there be female dragons? And for both answers, he gave me a cheeky, ooh, you're going to have to wait and see. Like, oh, can't wait for you to see in game. And so cheats were confirmed, but not female dragons, which I always thought was strange. Why they were, why he was sheepish about that, and there was no female dragons. So I was just kind of like, okay, that was weird. So in terms of like, oh yeah, oh they, they misled. Yes, but that was really the only time that I could remember there being like anything of something being misleading. Oops. I'm trying to think, was there any other time where there was like something that was led on about that? So I don't know what's going on. I got a feeling that, which is something that they do a lot now, is that when they're showing off gameplay, they have things disabled or things on so that you can't see. And then you find out like, oh yeah, that shot that you saw, they disabled this feature that they wanted to keep hidden or whatever. No, this was years ago. This was when I went for my Toys for Bob visit. I keep thinking the name Chris. I don't think his name is Chris though. Why do I keep thinking Chris? Oh yeah, watch this. So if you thought the Blaze 'em Up before was super strong, this is a new Blaze 'em Up. Watch this. And that's a wrap, folks. He's dead. Let's get to the next fast travel. We already have enough dire howls. We don't need another one. And there we go. So anyway, yeah. There is a lot that I wish that we could see. I'm hoping that we see female dragons. That would be really cool. I hope we see more dragons. I feel like it would be obvious for Toys for Bob to do dragons. I know that sounds a little bit facetious for me to say, but the reason why I'm saying that is because apparently, and by their own words, they took so much extra time on designing dragons. We know that they love dragons. We know that. We know that they adore dragons. So why not do more? Like, what if you got to do 100% original, your own dragons? About the CG, but I learned that in Canada, regards of milks are stored in bags, while in the US it was stored. Yep, it's a joke. Can you nickname pals? It'd be nice to consider calling your Blaze 'em Up Deathbringer. I think we can. We can name. Can I? I might not be able to rename this one. Let's see. Ooh, I can. Let's call her. Deathbringer, a little on the nose. Let's call her Let's call her. What should we name her? I'm gonna go with Flare for now. For now. Just a little Flare. Just a little. Just for now. I think we'll be able to rename her again, so. Hey man, society, how's it going? Oh, look at the little it's is it Muffly or Muffety? I think it's Muffety, right? That's an I. Can't. Muffly, okay. Muffly. Trying to. I'm trying to read. Gale Claw. So the nice thing about some of these more smaller streams is that you guys can fire questions at me and I can try my best to answer because the chat bar isn't going super duper ooper duper fast. I can not, you know, I can focus on these things. All right. And while we're doing that, let's see if I get my butt beat by these guys. Let's see what happens. Level 5 Xenoguard. Is it Xenoguard or Xenolord? There's Xenoguard and then there's Xenolord. Ah, barefoot on the rocks. That's smart. Oh yeah, it's Lylene, your grass type. You see, here's the funny thing about your Lylene, Lily, is that, well, let's give Finsider Ignis a try. Let's see. Get him! Alright, doing pretty good. Let's see what happens when... Woo! That was, whoo! Oh yeah, you could catch the tower bosses. I remember that. That was funny. Whew, she got cooked.
What?
Not figuratively either. Literally. Flare's a little strong. Just a little strong. Okay, so let's keep going here. Just trying to catch this. Please, just... There we go. Wait, what? Where is this thing? Where is it rampaging and why? Ooh, Dumont. Great. Now get out, 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 get out.
What?
Yeah. What happened? Clap! Oh, Jiminy Christmas. literal definition of clapped. Oh, there's a rampaging. I wonder. It's rampaging.
Wow.
Jeez. Everybody clap your hands! These hands are murder.
What?
Oh, stop being mad. Except arrow in the face. And then get in the ball. And miss. But not Crash Wheels like Crash, but not Spyro. You see, you're asking me that question now, right? And my answer, obviously, right now would be Spyro. Because Crash has gotten the Insane Trilogy, CTR, Crash on the Run, Crash 4, Crash Team Rumble, right? So yeah, it would be easy for me to say Spyro, because Spyro only had one game. Unfortunately, the thing is that if they turned around and said, all right, we're going to make 6 Spyro games now, and Crash is going to be set to the wayside. I'm not saying that's happening, but I'm just saying, like, you know, in this hypothetical question, then my answer would change to Crash, right? So right now, in this very moment in time, my answer is Spyro. But I also say that acknowledging that it's not really a fair assessment because of the fact that, we're dealing with the fact right now that there's only been one new Spyro game in the past, like, decade. And it was a remake of the original 3 games. And we haven't seen an original Spyro game in almost 20 years, right? So it's kind of a bit of an unfair assessment in my opinion, but that's just me.
Yep.
Because I do think that, you know, just because I love Spyro doesn't mean I don't love Crash, right? And again, and I've said this a few times now, Crash gets me hyped, Spyro makes me want to curl up in a ball and cry. Right? And it's different emotions, and they're both just as valid and just as important as last, right? Spyro makes me feel the warm, fuzzy feelings inside of childhood. Crash makes me feel that hype and sense of accomplishment for completing a level, right? So it's very hard to be able to sit there and, you know, pick one. For me personally, right? Also, it's a really fast way to get a bunch of people to get mad at you. So, there's also that aspect too, right? Okay. So, I'm going to be blunt about something because I've seen some people talking about it, and my eye twitches a little bit. My eye has a little bit of a twitch to it when people are yelling about this. So, pardon my French, or pardon my French, I'm not going to swear, but pardon my shortness when it comes to this particular aspect. There are people who are getting mad at me, and I'm saying CTR2. And it's the same arguments that was being used against me for Spyro 4. There already is a CTR2. It's CNK. Why do you hate CNK? Here we go again. No. I am following the naming convention that has been established by Activision. It's that they are the owners of the IP, and they have established, hey, this is what we're calling it. Okay. No problem. That's what you want to call it. That's what it will be called. They own the IP. They can call it. They can turn around and say, all right, we're making Spyro 11 tomorrow. Right? So there's that. When people say, I call it CTR2, and you're like, oh, you're not acknowledging CTR or CNK. No. Never once thought or suggested that. Having said that, there was another thing that somebody said that made me feel just a little bit eye twitchy. Just my eye twitch just a little bit of eye twitch, just a small one. They were like, why can't we get we got a remake for CTR, why can't we get a remake for CNK? What do you think Nitro Fueled was? All the CNK tracks are in there. Reworked and retooled. Why would they turn around and do a remake of CNK when the entirety of the CNK tracks are literally on CTR2 or CTR Nitro Fueled? And that's not even knocking CNK. I'm not knocking CNK. I'm saying that we already have the majority of CNK. We have all of CNK's tracks. All of them. Why would we need a CNK remake? But here's the thing, CJ Brooks. I don't disagree with you, but also the thing is that their nostalgia itch has already been scratched. It's not like they brought 3 tracks over from CNK and called it today. They brought back all of them. All of them. It would be, and this is what's wild about this, it would make more sense, and there would be a more valid point to turn around and say, let's remake Crash Tag Team Racing. And I know there are some diehard fans of Tag Team Racing, and I'm not mocking them. But I think that we can say that typically among the Crash fan base, it's the more unpopular one. It's more unpopular. To suggest that it's just as popular as CNK or even CTR, all right, come on. Like, no, it's not. Right? I'm not saying it's bad, but it's also not just as popular as CTR. But there's more of an argument. There's more of an argument that you would rather remake Tag Team Racing versus CNK. And it's wild to me. It's wild to me because it's like, well, give me CNK. You basically have it. You basically have it. Like, And it's you have, for all intensive purposes, CNK. Why on earth would you want them to spend time, money, and resources on something that you have 90% of already? Right? Like... I have a question. How would everyone feel if we got an RPG Crash Bandicoot game? Okay. So, let me set a parameter for this. Because, genuine question. One of the things that Crash Bandicoot did for a long time was just quite literally, hey, what Mario did, we're going to do, and we're going to put a Crash twist on it, right? Whether it's Crash Bash, whether it's Crash Team Racing, whether it's whatever, right? We want to go down, whether it's Crash Boom Bang, which is a riff off of Mario Party, right? Okay. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, that they turn around and they make something similar off of Mario RPG, which is more of that turn-based style. Let me ask you something. And this is my mindset. This is my mindset when it comes to spin-offs. My mindset when it comes to spin-offs is that... Let me say it like this. I know I'm kind of jumping around because I'm trying to figure out a way to word this a good way. To word good. If Mario released tomorrow a brand new Mario game that's in a genre that we typically don't see him in. Mario releases a game tomorrow or announces a game tomorrow. Mario hunting simulator. I don't know. Like it's a hunting sim. Okay, like those old deer hunter games, okay? Mario hunting sim. All right. First one ever. Weird, different, completely new. And let's say it bombs. This thing tanks. This thing lands harder than a turd made of coal. Sinks to the bottom of the pool. Plunk. This thing sucked. In all realms of the word, sucked. Okay. So, this thing fails. Are we nervous that Mario's not going to get a new game because of it? Are we nervous that, oh man, Mario's dead? Mario's not going to come out with a new game. Of course not. It's Mario. It's Mario. Of course they're going to come back with another game. Yep. That one in particular just sucked. Right? They tried something new. It was an absolute, tomfoolery failure. What it is. We move on. We know that Mario is going to move on and do well. We know that. Now let's take that same scenario and swap it from Mario to Crash. Are we gonna be like, that's fine? No. No. Because Crash Bandicoot doesn't have the cachet that Mario has. Even if we were to swap the example of Mario to something more comparable, heck, to something that actually people visually think is more popular than Crash, but actually sells comparatively in terms of the game market. Not in terms of a whole fan base, because it is a really big multi-thing fan base, but in terms of comparing game to game, pretty comparable is Sonic. If Sonic released a game that was a cold, hard stinker that floated to the bottom of the pool and was awful. Would we be nervous that there wouldn't be any more Sonic games? No. No, we know that there would be more Sonic games in development. Why? Because Sonic has been around. Even though the franchises, when you compare Sonic Frontiers and Crash Bandicoot 4's sales, I think 4 beat Frontiers significantly. Sonic, that's the thing, is that people complain, even Sonic's own fans complain about the games coming out and the quality of them. Now, I will say they've been recently doing really well. How would you feel about spiral fridge magnets? I have spiral fridge magnets. Not to go off topic, but and not to flex, but when we were in PAX, a lovely fan, Sean, had 3D printed me some magnets, and what he did was that he inlaid them in the actual 3D print. Like, he would pause the 3D print, put the magnets in, and then hit resume, and it printed over the magnets, and now I have fridge magnets. So rewinding all the way back, what would I think about a Crash Bandicoot RPG? Hi. Oh, that's okay. How's your hand? Child. Who needs it? For what? Does it have it? Okay, does he do we need to take him to the dentist?
No.
Okay. Okay. Well, hopefully he's okay. Okay.
How's this going?
What?
Okay.
What? It's it's a jester. It's a jester cat called Dupin, and it also
Her name isn't Chester.
also it breathes fire, juggles balls, and plays and dances with a cane. It's kind of like a bit of a carny.
Fantastic. Love it.
So yeah.
I go. And then this one's down.
Off you go. I love you. Bye. That's okay, Madeline. But Madeline. So here be the ting. The thing is that would I want a Crash Bandicoot RPG? No. I wouldn't. Not because I wouldn't like it, not because I don't think it would be cool, but I think that it's too risky. It's too risky.
What?
And we need Crash to go back to its roots for now. Let's go back to what we know works. Let's go to CTR. Okay, CTR, and then after CTR, we go, okay, CTR did well. What's next? Oh, we then go back to a new Crash game. Okay, cool. Those do well. Then let's do something wacky. Then let's do something strange. Then let's do something interesting. Hey, Southwest Warrior, how's it going? Because if we don't do that, if we go with something wild and wacky and it flops again, because as much as I hate to say it, Rumble did not succeed. Rumble didn't succeed, and I am saddened by that. I think that it was hamstrung. I do think it was hamstrung. I do think that it was held back. I do think that there were things going on that kept it held back. See, if we had a Crash Bandicoot we have a CTR, then we have a CTR, then we have a mainline crash game. They all do really well, and then they turn around and say, "Hey, we're gonna try something different." All right, let's go for it. Right? Let's give her. Let's try something new. But we're kind of just like, we're a little nervous right now if they were to turn around and do something drastically different. Yakip Saloon with the first donation of the stream donated $1 through Super Chat. Thank you so much, Yakip. I appreciate that. Thank you. What do you mean too close? What does it overlap with, huh? What? It's big enough. Hang on. Maybe we need to go a little higher. Can you take it? Aha! See? There we go. Oh, too far. Perfect. Now it's way up and out of the way. Because this thing is massive! Done. Now we can go and upgrade our pub box. Yeah. So, also too, you're going to get fans immediately angry. You will get fans immediately angry if you turn around, you're like, hey, we have a new Crash Bandicoot, and everyone's like, oh, sweet, new Crash Bandicoot, and they're like, yeah, it's an RPG. Well, you have to think about it. Crash fans haven't had a full RPG or a full regular Crash game since 2020. It's 2026 now, right? You know, I am a Crash fan, but I'm also a Spyro fan. So if they turn around, if A Realm Beyond comes out, I'm super excited. I'm super hyped. I'm super into it. And they turn around and announce a new Crash Bandicoot. And they're like, yeah, it's an RPG. I'm going to be like, why? Like, why? And and of course I will cover it, and of course I will talk about it, and of course I'll go over it. But why stands? Because I'd be like, okay. Like, that is certainly a choice. Also, look at me. Whee! Dragon Tales, Dragon Tales. Whee! Bonk. Ah! Can you take me higher?
Hey.
Okay. I need to buy something because apparently my creature has an ulcer. Cost me $1,800. Catrace hair. Sell these things. Yeah, we'll go with that. And sell. It would be too far from remote if you think about it. Yeah, it would be a very, like, overall, I would have a questionable reaction. I'd be like, why? Why are we making Crash an RPG? So, and then it would depend on who's making it, right? It would totally depend on who's making it. If it's like, oh, Toys for Bob is making a Crash RPG, I'd say, okay, I trust Toys for Bob. I'm confused, but I trust them. But if they're like, Iron Galaxy is making a Crash RPG, I would immediately soil myself to the brim in panic. I'd be like, ah! No! it would be a disaster. I can picture all the interviews basically saying, so, Crash Bandicoot RPG, eh? And they're going to ask every question that it falls along the lines of, have you lost the plot? Pumbaa, are you nuts? That is, so...
What?
So that would be, I think, a genuine question is, okay, who's making it? Got a favorite pal? I really like, hey, Elena! Second donation of the stream, and it's the biggest one. Elena donates $50, $50 through Super Chat. $5 from Grandma. She's watching. Please say hi, everyone. Hi. 18 victory sounds remaining post the last cap session. Please continue with this A Realm Beyond save file. P.S. Use this for computer upgrades. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Elena. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. You are awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much for the $50. That is incredible. If you want to support the channel, there's a link in the description below. And, or you can support via Super Chat, if you so wish. Thank you so much, Elena, and everyone for supporting the stream tonight. Thank you. So, it's very, I don't want a Crash RPG yet. We need Crash to, because Crash already did its experimental game. It tried Rumble. And you know what? There's something that I gotta give mad respect for, and I don't know if Lou will ever see this or ever hear me say, because I've said it publicly, and I don't know if he'll ever say it. Maybe if I get to talk with him, I'll tell it to him personally. I gotta give mad respect, because there was a question over on the Kind of Funny podcast that was to give you an idea. I don't want to say anything bad about Kind of Funny, because Kind of Funny is a really good show. They have some really good people over there. I don't agree with every comment that I see come out from there. There was one in particular that I venomously disagreed with, and overall the internet kind of agreed with that sentiment. I'm not going to get into it, but there was something that was said that was a little bit like, I was like, really, like, you're going to ask it that way? To give you an idea, if this question was asked in court, it would be objection leading. And what that is that if I were to turn around and say in court, let's say I'm questioning somebody if they stole apples. If I turn around and said, so, those apples they must have tasted pretty good, right? They must have, you know, you must have been really hungry for those apples. That's leading, because what it is that basically what's happening here is that you are trying to lead the person that you're questioning into an answer without them answering it, and that you can't do that in court, and so it's called leading. There was a question asked that was essentially worded in a way that was like, oh yeah, Crash Team Rumble must have been something that Activision had set up for you guys to do, right? And because they wanted you to do the multiplayer stuff, and that, you know, that's Activision's fault, right? Because of course, who would want a multiplayer Crash game like that? Now, that isn't what was said, but the question was proposed in a way that was very, very much kind of like, oh, so would it be, the question is, would I be wrong to assume that Crash Team Rumble was a product and was something that was indicated by Activision for you to make. And I didn't like that question. I didn't like that question because, again, it was inferring that you didn't want to make Rumble. That was Activision forcing you to make Rumble, right? And immediately, Lou said, you would be 100% wrong. You would be. And he said, you would be 100% wrong. Activision did not force us to make Rumble. And that was something that I was just like, go Lou. And I was really happy to hear that. I was really happy to hear him. And then he went on and said, man, we were making stuff for Rumble before Crash 4. Right? And then he sat down and he said, you know, we wanted to do something different. We tried something completely different. He gave the rationale for it. And it was a good rationale. And to Tim Getty's credit, he did lay off immediately afterwards. He laid off immediately. He didn't try to like force it. He didn't try to like kind of get, he was like, okay, no problem. And it was like, that to me felt like I was really happy to hear that. I was really happy to hear that, you know, like he went to bat for them. He went to bat for Rumble. And he didn't just be like, oh, you know, it is what it is. It was we did what we had to do and we tried our best with it. No, he went full to the wall. He defended it. He said that it was a lot of fun. It was experimental. It was something different. And I was just like, it felt really like nice to hear him say like to go on the defense for Rumble. And that's something that I'm really happy about, right? And the thing is that he could have turned around and said, he could have turned around and said, oh, you know, we did what we did and was polite about it and still, you know, and leave it as is. But no, he didn't. He went to bat for it. He was like, no, that's incorrect because XYZ. And I was happy about that. And if I ever get to talk to Lou again, whether it's via why is everyone stressed out? You know, it's something that I was very pleased to hear. I was very pleased to hear that. I was very happy to hear that, and it just made me feel happy inside to know that Lou, you know, and it wasn't like I had any doubts before, but it was just nice to hear it. It was really nice to hear Lou kind of going on the defense for Rumble. I still think Rumble had a shot, but the thing is that, again, and I've said this numerous times, I think Rumble had to die in order for Spyro A Realm Beyond to live. Right? Because, you know, this was something that I was talking to somebody about this, somebody whose opinion I would think most people would want to listen to. I was talking to somebody, it was behind the scenes, nothing official, nothing on record. And we did a thought experiment, and it was like, and we did it together. And it's like, okay, let's say Rumble succeeds. Rumble blows up. Rumble, let's push it. Rumble becomes half as popular as Fortnite. Rumble becomes half as popular as Fortnite. Just half. Not full, just half. Do we get a Realm Beyond? In my mind's eye, the answer is no. No, we don't. I don't think we do. I don't think we get a Realm Beyond, because what would happen is that Activision would turn and be like, bingo, that's a moneymaker. We're gonna now do that, and now all your time is gonna be focused on making Rumble content. Rumble, and supporting Rumble, and making more content for Rumble, and doing more Rumble over and over and over again. And okay, great, but how many other games has every other Call of Duty studio made other than Call of Duty? I want to say, I think there was one. There may have been one, maybe. And I know Treyarch had their RPG, but I don't know if that's been canned or not. That may have even been canned by this point. So, okay. And how many other games has how many other games have even Epic made since the launch of Fortnite? You got Gears of War. You got Fortnite. Let's see, what else has Epic made? Yeah, here we go. They have, it was Fortnite. Right now they have Fortnite, Rocket League, and Fall Guys. Fall Guys was developed by Mediatonic, and then Epic acquired them. Rocket League was developed by Psyonix, and then acquired by Epic. And then Fortnite is still going. Since the launch of Fortnite, they haven't released a new game up until the most recent upcoming Gears of War E-Day. Actually, no, it's not. I take that back. The Coalition is handling the development of Gears of War, which is a Microsoft-owned Canadian studio. So it's not even Epic Games. Yeah. Gears 3. Give me a second here. So they launched Fortnite Battle Royale. Was it really back in 2017? Jiminy Christmas. Okay, so Fortnite Battle Royale was released September 26, 2017. Then there was a game called Battle Breakers. What's Battle Breakers? What is this? Battle Breakers has been discontinued and is no longer available. Battle Breakers was discontinued. Look at this. Hold on. So if we go back to the wiki, I had it up. There it is. So we go here. Games developed by Epic Games, okay? Look at this. Fortnite Battle Royale, right? Then they say Fortnite Creative. It's still Fortnite. I'm sorry, it's still Fortnite. Battle Breakers, discontinued. Okay? Fortnite Save the World, still Fortnite. Lego Fortnite, it's Fortnite. Rocket Racing. Yeah, it is a 2015 game, a spin-off of Rocket League as part of Fortnite. Fortnite Festival. Fortnite Ballistic. It's all Fortnite. Before that, to give you an idea, take a look. Look at all the games that they were coming out with. Extreme Pinball, Firefight, 7th Legion, Jazz Jackrabbit, Unreal, Age of Wonders, Unreal Tournament 2003, Unreal Championship, Unreal Tournament 2004, right? Gears of War, Unreal Tournament, Shadow Complex, Infinity Blade, Bulletstorm, Infinity Blade 2, Gears of War Judgment, Infinity Blade 3, Shadow Complex, Robo Recall. You got all of these games that they're coming out with, and then you hit Fortnite. And it just sits there. Fortnite, 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 Fortnite. That's it. So, what does this mean? Well, it's... Sure, why not? Well, when you have... Now you're just making Fortnite nonstop. That's it. So, okay. That kind of sucks. So what if... genuinely Rumble was half as successful? Just half. What would happen? Well, we see what would happen. All of this to say that if Rumble succeeded, I don't know if we get Spyro. And that sucks. Because it would literally require somebody to have to take up the reins of Rumble. And while it does happen, it is rare. Like, it's not impossible. And it has happened. But it is very much uncommon. Rumble had to fall for Spyro to rise. And that hurts me. Because think about it. What else? What else would have what would have happened? All right, we're gonna try this again. I might be really testing my luck here, but I'm gonna try this again. Let's go! Oh, we might be able to catch this thing. Let's go! Yes! Back to base. I'm going to put you in the base. It barely fits. Ah. So, and I might make a video talking about this. I didn't think I would, but maybe I will. I'm thinking about doing a video just kind of expanding upon it. I still want to do kind of like an air quote, like an exit interview when it comes to this stuff. I would really love to be able to sit down and have a conversation with somebody from Toys for Bob and just ask the question that everyone is saying, which is, what happened and why? Why did it go down that way? And I have my thoughts. I have my opinions, but those are my thoughts and my opinions. It's not. I don't want to talk about my thoughts and my opinions. I don't want people thinking that I know more than others. I want to know what happened, why, and why did it fall apart the way it did, and and on record too, because I've heard plenty of things behind the scenes. I've heard plenty of things. I have heard good things. I've heard bad things. I've heard up. I've heard down. I've heard this. I've heard that. I've heard a lot. But it's one thing to hear a lot, and there's one thing to assume, and then there's a whole completely different thing for somebody to come on mic and say, hey, I want to go on record to explain this is what happened and this is why. Right? It's a whole different animal. And that's what I want. I want to see if I can get that. Will I get that? I don't know. I hope I can one day. I want to. I want to be the one that sits down and... Because we have, like... We can essentially suss out what happened. Even from, like, the interview with Paul, the interview with a whole bunch of things... We can kind of easily suss out, here is kind of what happened, right? That's not, but we want to get a direct answer, to get a, hey, this is why. And then we know. And I want to try to be able to get that interview. I would love to get that interview, to be able to get that information and say, hey, this is why this happened. Will we? I don't know. I don't know if we ever will. We may not. We may never get it. Because the thing is that The thing is that right now, Toys for Bob is working with, they're right now working with Activision, right? If they turn around and they say something poor about Activision while working with them, it wouldn't be smart, in my opinion. That's not something smart to do. Because you're going to cause irritation where irritation is not required. But we'll see if one of these days, right? See, fan projects are great. The problem with fan projects is that you're at the mercy of the devs. My opinion, and this is just my opinion, I think that it's a good idea to make a fan game and then pitch it.
What?
And then knowing that, yes, you're going to probably have to rebuild the game from the ground up and make changes, but make a fan game, present it as a prototype, and say, hey, this is what we want to do. Now, some people have yelled at me for that opinion, so I digress. I think that, you know, because the thing is that you put time and effort into these games, and that's great. That's amazing. But then all it takes is one pen stroke. One. That's it. One pen stroke and game's dead. All those hours, all that code you developed and everything is gone. Just done and cooked, right? And the thing is that you can't turn around and be like, okay, let me take this code and let me go and no. You're done. It's done. But you can take that time. Now, of course, you also have the stuff that you learn from building that project, which, of course, is invaluable as well. But my thought is that if, like, for example, you build a fan game, but then you show it off in the background and say, hey, this is what we made. Imagine if you gave us funding. Right? You give us funding, and now we can turn it into a real game, or, you know, we can make it an official game, or we can do all these different things, right? Because nothing's worse than when you put all this effort and love into something, and then it gets cease and desist, and that's it. That's it, and it's over. And it's not just like a little bit over, it's completely over. And all that work that you did just got turned to smoke. But keep it private and present it behind the scenes and pitch it. You might be able to get something with it. Nintendo takes down fan games all the time. All the time. You gotta be careful with mods. They'll you'll get mods struck down. You get a whole bunch of things struck down. Which, by the way, Nintendo's lawsuit with Palworld is doing really bad, and I feel zero pity for Nintendo. I feel zero pity, like absolutely none. I feel no pity. Because what they were trying to... If they turned around and said, hey, you should change some of these designs, I would have said, yeah, that's fine. I can understand that. I can understand that some of these designs, admittedly, do look extremely similar to Pokemon. Right? Absolutely. Absolutely. But then when they were like, no, we're suing... I thought I had a whole bunch of bullets. They're like, no, we're suing because of... we're suing because of game mechanics. I was like, what? Like, what do you mean? You're going after game mechanics, and the game mechanics are broad. They're broad. And I'm sitting there, and there are people that are like, listen, I am a Pokemon fan through and through. You couldn't force me to hate Pokemon. I love Pokemon. I adore Pokemon. Having said that though, you can't want them to win, because if you win, it sets a precedent for the entire industry that you don't want. You don't want Nintendo to win. You don't want, or Game Freak or whoever. Okay? You don't want that. You don't want it. You don't want it. You don't want it. Because they win. What happens now is that it sets what's called a precedent. Okay? So, for those who are unfamiliar with law, there are certain laws done by the Supreme Court and done by a number of courts that are used as precedents for what has happened in the past. So, let me explain. Let's make this really easy. Billy decided to copy... Billy decided to get the source code for Call of Duty and copy it. And then paste it and reskin it and put it into a game. Call of Duty, this has never been done before. Call of Duty turns around and says, you can't do that. That's wrong. That invokes all these number of copyright problems. Billy says there's no precedent. Get lost. Okay, so they go to court. It eventually gets to a court ruling. They turn around and say, you know what? This is the first of its kind. We're going to deliberate. And then they come to the conclusion, yes, you can't just copy and paste someone's code and change the assets and call it a day and release it as a game. You can't do that. So now Billy versus Call of Duty. That's what the case is called. Billy versus Call of Duty. Okay. Fast forward a year. Mandy, there's a theme here. Mandy turns around and copies the code of Sonic. Changes a few things, pastes it, and releases the game. Sega stands up and says, hey, you can't do that. You copied our game. And then they say, and our precedent is Billy versus Call of Duty. That's our precedent. Our case is so similar, and that was the result of that case. Ergo, because the result of that case happened that way, our case should end that way. Right? And then, 9 times out of 10, court battles are fought and killed before they even enter the scene, because the lawyers look at it and they say, yeah, that's true. You can't do that. So now it's become a law. You cannot copy and paste someone's code and copy someone's code, paste it into yours, tweak it and adjust it a little bit, and send it. That becomes a law. Thank you, Elena, for catching that reference. Right? So, now it's just a very simple concept to explain this. Nintendo is suing Palworld not because of it being a sidekick creature that you keep in a container and you're third person, you run around and the creature follows you in the open world. That's what they're suing over. They're saying that's too close to our games. Meanwhile, you have other games like Cassette Beasts, you have Digimon, you have literally all, you have Temtem, which literally had in their FAQs, isn't this just Pokemon? They had all of these different things, and guess what? None of them were hit with copyright strikes. Why? None of them got as popular as Palworld. So Palworld shows up and starts destroying the market in terms of people being hyped about it, and people are psyched, they're excited. And then Nintendo goes, we're going to invoke our patent on you. Or Game Freak or whomever. Pokemon turns and says, I'll say Pokemon. Pokemon turns and says, we're going to invoke our copyright on you. And then you turn and say, but what about Cassette Beasts? What about Digimon? What about all these other... Temtem? What about all these other games that are also creature collector games that you didn't invoke anything on, but you're invoking on Palworld? Well, the reason why is because none of those games got remotely close to the size that Pokemon was. Palworld has. So what do? They choose to enact using their copyrights on Palworld. But here's the problem. The whole point and the mission that they're going for is they're trying to make it so that Palworld bleeds out and has to surrender. And if they surrender, that means that Nintendo wins. But here's the problem. Nintendo wins this case. Let's say Nintendo wins this case. It becomes Palworld v Nintendo. And the result was Nintendo won. Why? Because Nintendo claimed that the mechanics in their game were too similar to Palworld's mechanics. That's now a precedent. Let's fast forward a year. Someone says, you know what I want to make? I want to make a mech fighting game. I want to put two people in a mech, and I want them to duke it out and fight to the death, and it's online battle, and you're mechs and you're fighting each other. All of a sudden, EA says, excuse me, courts, they're stealing our idea of Titanfall. Now, we have no interest in ever making Titanfall 3. And we're not making any money off of the Titanfall franchise. But we have fighting robots. And guess what? Our president is Nintendo v Palworld. The court says, well, Nintendo v Palworld. And we lean for Nintendo. What's the difference with this one? So, guess what? EA wins. And then sharks hit the water. You have people who own... Then you have Activision suing EA. You have a first-person shooter. Hey, then you have sci-fi shooters all suing each other. You have Halo suing. Why are they suing each other? Because it becomes a last man standing. And then guess what? Anybody that creates any games that have any sort of similar mechanics to any other game, investors won't bite. Because imagine you're an investor. You invest into a game. You give $2 million to a studio to make a game, and then all of a sudden that studio gets hit with a suit because it's copyright copying off of another game, and you lose your investment. Well, suddenly now investors pull back and say, nah, we don't want to do this. We don't want to do this. We're not going to be investing in anything. Because guess what? They're not going to get their money back, because if you invent an idea that seems similar to another idea, it's going to get attacked with a copyright. And the whole thing falls apart. The whole thing crumbles to dust. And the whole industry falls apart. Period. That's just how it works. Because everybody is going to be fighting to protect their IP. So then guess what? You're going to squander creativity. You're going to only have people like one studio creating certain games. They're going to turn around and say, hey, guess what? You get to play as a dragon? You can't do that. That's owned by Activision. Oh, you want a game that contains platforming and hitting a box? You can't do that. That's copyrighted by Nintendo. Oh, you want a game that has a first-person shooter? You can't do that because that's copyrighted by Activision. Oh, you want to... Do you see what I mean? It all falls apart. and it goes bad. Now, does it fall apart right away? No, but it will be a slow death. It will be a slow death. So, what I'm saying is Nintendo losing is good for the industry, and Nintendo losing may even be the way to pry open with a crowbar that Nemesis mechanic that Warner Brothers has patented on their Lord of the Rings. It was not Shadowlands. Can't remember the name. Forgive me. The Lord of the Rings Shadow something. Okay, because they had the Nemesis mechanic, which was a super cool mechanic that nobody can use in any of their games. Shadow of Mordor, thank you. That they can pry open that Shadow of Mordor mechanic, the Nemesis system, and pull it back. And be able to say, hey, Nintendo v Palworld, Palworld 1, you can't have that copyright on the Nemesis system anymore because we want to put something similar in another game. And guess what? Bang. It's now open again. You can't put a copyright on game mechanics. You can't. You can't put a copyright on game mechanics because there's inherently things that come... Like, for example, here, watch this, okay? And Spyro's not even the original of this, but I'm just saying it for... Do you think Spyro should be able to sue Palworld because of this? I'm gliding, aren't I? Right? And it's called a glider? Right? Should Spyro be able to sue because of Spyro gliding? No! No, of course not! That would be insane! No! No, of course not! Right? And it gets to the point where the whole industry dies because no one can be creative. Right? Nintendo is trying to make it... They're using their... What's happening is Nintendo is using their copyright to try and bully Palworld into submission so that Palworld is no longer a competitor. But in doing so, they're literally, and no exaggeration, blowing up the gaming industry to pieces. Blowing it to bits. Now, the good news is that thus far, everything that Nintendo has essentially brought forward has been shut down. That everything that Nintendo's been bringing forward is in arbitration, in court. They're basically looking at it and saying, what is this? No, of course not. You can't do that. That's ridiculous. Why do you think you can do that? And that's basically been the mood for, well, like everything. And I'm just like, yeah, heck yeah, get them. Because to sue over game mechanics is insane. You can't and shouldn't use patents to selectively take out your competition. Okay? I'm sorry, you can't do that. You can't pick and choose, because actually there's a problem with this too. Because there is another case that's actually kind of funny. And that's McDonald's. So, forgive my blanking on the details. It's either they have McDonald trademarked, or either they have McDonald's trademark, which they do, or they have the Big Mac trademarked, to the point where if someone comes out and says, we are McDonald towing, lawsuit. Immediately. Immediate lawsuit. Copyright. And you might be like, well, why? They're just a bunch of like, money grubbers. Well, the problem is that if McDonald's lets one person go on and say, you know what? It's fine. You can name your thing McDonald Towing. Guess what? Everybody will turn and say, well, why can't we use McDonald's? Why can't we use McDonald's for our product? You let them have it. Why can't we have it? And if you have an inconsistency, so now, whenever the court looks at the history of, hey, have you sued other people over this before? If the answer is yes, and they can look at the history and be like, dang, man, they haven't let anybody have it. So yeah, we can't sit there and say, hey, you're being selective. McDonald's just automatic lawsuit. You can say MacDonald, even if it's your name. They've come to the conclusion you can say MacDonald, but you can't say McDonald. That's the conclusion that they came. Is that even if your last name is McDonald, you have to go MacDonald. So, they do that because if they let one slip through that they're aware of, other people can take the opportunity and jump on it. So it's just across the board lawsuit. But you have Nintendo, who's being picky and choosy about what they sue. Well, now what you're doing is that you're trying to take out competition through a suit. Right? That's what you're doing. Instead of turning around and saying, you know what? We need to do better. We need to make better content. We need to make better games. We need to make better stuff. They're turning around. They're like, no, we're just going to take out the competition. Well, yeah, it's true, Caroline. It's like the Donkey Kong lawsuit. Exactly like the Donkey Kong lawsuit. It's insanity. It's absolutely insanity. It's ridiculous. And a lot of people, they really like Palworld. Hey, Midas, how's it going? Oh, come on. I'm in an area I shouldn't be. Those van worms are nuts. And I hate it. I hate it.
What?
I hate the fact that Nintendo is doing that. It makes me angry. Elena has been a member for 46 months, loving the green. Thank you so much. And Emerald Queen is a member for 49 months, also loving the green. Oh, you're welcome. I like the new video. I appreciate that. I appreciate that, Midas. I know it was, for some people that are like, oh, well, this is, some of this stuff was obvious. So I was like, well, while, yes, some of it was obvious, for some people, they don't pay attention to all of the news, right? And it's like, so I wanted, and also, I did an aggregate. I literally sat down and I was like, okay, what is the most commonly asked question? And I went through and I was reading them and I was like writing down, okay, this one came up, this one came up, this one came up. I used the keyword search tool that I have, and it was like, this keyword. So I typed in like sparks. And it's like this keyword has come up on these videos this many times, and then this keyword's come up this many times, and it was, you know, I was formative and was obvious to some, is not to others. And I appreciate that. And, you know, some of it also is like, oh yeah, this is obvious, but some people don't know that, right? So, you know, overall, I was, you know, like, if you're up to date on everything, it may, the biggest update on that, though, I will say, is that, that I reached out to Activision themselves and asked them about whether or not if it's going to be a, it's going to release physically. And as of right now, I still have not received, let me double check to make sure I'm not eating my words. All right. Yes, I am correct. As of right now, looking at my inbox, I have not received any information that lets me know on an official basis that Spyro is or isn't coming physically. I asked several times through the access points that I do have. I did not get an answer. Now, does that mean guilty? No, that doesn't mean guilty. Does that mean that, oh, that, you know, XYZ, that it means anything? No, it means that they haven't confirmed it, period. That's it. They haven't confirmed it yet, and we have to wait and see. Sometimes this happens. Sometimes it's just that, you know, they have... Sometimes they will have a 99% certainty on something and still won't confirm it because it's only 99. Even though they could probably sit there and answer and be like, yeah, it's going to have a, yes, it's going to have a, it's like, yes, it's going to have a release, but they haven't said anything because it's not 100%. So again, right now we gotta wait and see. I mean, I would be heartbroken if they didn't. Also, too, it's possible that they are genuinely deciding that they don't know. They're like, should we not? You know, and we, you know, would have to make sure that we would have to make sure that they know that that we want a physical version, right? So it's got to be something that's verbal, right? And you would think that it would be something relatively like obvious, but evidently no. Evidently it's not, right? It's something that a lot of people are concerned about, and I'm frustrated that people have to be concerned about it in the first place. Right? That is my core confusion, is that if you already know, you should be able to say it. And no disc, no buy. I can't say that for me. If it's, you know, if it's on a disc, if it's a digital only, I'll be heartbroken, but I'm still going to buy it. I'm not going to let that take something away from me. But let me tell you what, I would definitely be making a stink about it. Right? I love Spyro to death. I love Spyro. I can pick and choose. I pick and choose when to buy physically, because that is. I pick and choose when to buy physically, and I'm still going to continue to do that. I'm not going to sit here. Let me get something. Hey, Platinum Lucario. Hey, Hannah Vincent, how's it going? Let me get this out of the way immediately so that people understand my perspective on all of this. Okay? I am not going to turn around and say only physical, no digital ever. No, of course not. Digital is really convenient. I like digital too. I prefer physical, but I like digital. Okay? If it's a game I'm unsure about, it goes on sale digitally, sure, I'll grab it digitally. Why not? Because it's digital, right? But the point that I need to make, that people need to know in terms of my stance, is that there should be choice. I want as many options as possible. If you gotta jack up the price of physical games, but maintain the price of digital, fine. If you gotta turn around and say, hey, listen, for this to make sense, we're gonna be charging, we're going to drop the price of digital games by $5 and increase the price of physical games by 10. Okay, if that's what's gotta happen, but leave the choice open. DRM is a completely other separate issue that I also disagree with DRM significantly, right? There should be a choice. And now what's happening is Sony is pushing it to not a choice. There is no choice. There is no option. That's it, and you're stuck with that. And that's where I go, nope a dope on a rope, we ain't doing that. No. That's not what's happening. We're not doing that. You give people options. Give them the option to be able to do this stuff. Give them choice. Enough of this corralling people into a corner and saying, hey, this is the only way that you can buy now. This is the only way that you can play. No, absolutely not. Right? Because there are some people I'm reading, they're like, oh yeah, I only explicitly buy physical. I never buy digital, and if you buy digital, you're the enemy. It's like, no. That's no. But at the same token of time, don't take away my options. I want to have my option to be able to do that. I want my option to be able to have a choice. And that's, the other thing too is that, and this is something that I'm going to say that I have secondhand problems with. Let me talk to you about a dear friend of mine. He goes by Lord the Dragon. He goes by Just Shooter. Great friend of mine. Fantastic friend. I talk with him nearly every day. Okay? I talk with him nearly every day. He's a genuine friend of mine. Love the man. He's also my editor. He helps with... We're splitting the work about 50-50, though for the past few months when I was doing my stuff with Voidling Bound, he was the sole editor, and then once I was done with that, it was about 60-40, and we change. It's like 50-50. Sometimes I do 60, sometimes he does 40, sometimes he does 70, and I do 30. It's fluctuating. But he is my co-editor for this channel. He's my editor, and I edit the other stuff. The channel wouldn't be as successful without him. Unfortunately, as much as I love the man, that doesn't translate to his internet speed. The poor lad has to deal with bad internet. And it sucks because sometimes we'll be in the middle of talking and he drops out immediately. Just boop, gone. We'll be playing a game together, and then boop, he's gone. And then he's like, oh, I'm going to upload a video. It says it should take about 2 hours. Oh, no, a cloud went over by the satellite dish. That now 2 hours is now 12 hours. And that can be frustrating for scheduling. And it's not his fault. Not remotely. It's not remotely his fault. He's got nothing to blame. But I tell you what, as somebody that where I'm like, you know, he says, hey, it's done. I go, great. Okay, let's see it. And then we have to sit there and we have to wait because his internet's awful. And it's not his fault. It's where he is in the location. There's nothing that we can do about it. I stress, not his fault. But that's frustrating, right? Yep. There are a lot of people that are in the same boat where they can't get better internet. They have access to that internet and that internet alone. When we went to go play Halo, it was 75 gigs. He had to wait for almost like a day and a half to be able to actually download the bloody thing. Again, not his fault. But that is the reality for a bunch of people. You get the game on disc, you get the majority of it on the disc, and then you only got to download a day one patch. If he buys them digital, he has to download the whole game. And it's massive. And it takes forever. You buy the game physically, he can play the game faster. He just pop it in. If he has to readjust or do anything, if he has to clear a game off his hard drive and then wants to put it back on, that's easy. Just boop, done. And there are many people that have internet like that, where it's just like, well, GG, I guess I can't. It's like, well, what? can't play till forever. And then guess what? Oh, if you have to, on top of that, you add on the problem of poor hard drive space, where you gotta be deleting games off your hard drive and re-downloading them. It makes you not want to have to re-download a game. Because you're like, oh man, I like to play a game tonight. Oh, you know what? I would really like to play this game. Oh wait, I can't play that because if I want to play that, I have to download it. And because of my poor internet, it's going to take a day and a half. And then you're out of the mood. So you have to now think and pre-plan everything to be able to play games. Because you're bouncing between swapping games on and off your hard drive because your hard drive's not big enough. It is aggravating. Why is it so hard to play games for people that own the game? They own it. Why is the gaming industry making things difficult just to play a game? And don't just sit there, oh, just buy a bigger hard drive. Have you seen the prices of computer components? Have you seen them? They're insane. They're releasing RAM with 4 gigabytes of VRAM because they can't afford to release the 8 gigabytes of VRAM. It's ridiculous! We're in the RAM-pocalypse. We're in the hard drive-pocalypse. All of it is bad. You gotta win the lotto just for 1 stick of RAM. Yes! And yes, Caroline, I was trying to type this out in a tweet, but I stopped because I was just like, people are just going to say I'm whining. But I feel this. When I was a kid, Nothing was better than cracking open a game and opening up and being like, oh my gosh, I have a game that is incredible. This is so much fun. You open up, you see the disc. Oh, it's so cool. Now listen, I saw an image, and albeit it was probably AI. It was probably AI, but there was an image of a kid cracking open a game, and it was like a physical game. I can't remember what it was, and he's cheering. And right beside him is the same kid opening up a game, and it's a PSN card. And he's just like, oh, like depressed. Yes, I get it. You can't measure the magic of Christmas, but good golly, you can imagine it in your heart, and you can measure it where a kid goes to open up a Christmas present for something awesome, and it's just a PSN card. Like, how boring. PSN card. Yay. And then you gotta go log in, buy the game, ta-da, and then you gotta wait for it to download. Maybe it's just me, but that sucks. Like there's a fanfare to opening up a game physically. There's a feeling of, you get a game, you pop it open, you get that new disc smell, you read the manual, you pop it in, and best of all, you can sell it, you can trade it in. If you dislike it, you can do whatever. If it's digital, it's like, well, Santa had to send a code. Yeah, basically. Also, too, here's another thought, okay? If the code, what would happen if you bought that PSN card and there's a tech issue with the code where it's already claimed? Let's say, hear me out here, because I'm going to say this, and I'm going to go get some more water. And take a short break. My buddy used to go on Xbox, and this was back in high school. Now, maybe they've changed it since this point, but I always think of this. His name was Joey. Joey would go on to Xbox, and he knew the pattern for the codes, like if there was a number or a letter or whatnot, and he would just punch in code after code after code after code randomly, just to see if there was anything out there. Anything, just code, and once in a while, he would land on one. He got one that was like a free month of gold. He got a free year of gold, and I think he got a game. Okay? And he's just running through codes on, enter a code, blah, 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 but nope, blah, 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 nope, blah, right? So I want you to imagine somebody buys a PSN card, it activates, and they put it under the tree. They leave it under the tree. Let's say grandma and grandpa bought it 2 weeks early to get the Christmas shopping done. They bought it. They hand it to mom and say, hey, pack this for little Timmy and, open it up in 2 weeks. So guess what? You got 2 weeks of this code floating around actively. And you got people running codes. And all of a sudden, bing, you hit it. Someone hits it. So now this kid cracks open this thing. Wow, thanks for the PSN card. Goes over, punches in the code, and it's invalid. Then you got to call tech support. You got to convince them that you didn't activate it. They're going to sit there and say how you got to prove it. You got to and it's a whole thing. Or you buy the game physically and you got the game physically. And if there's a defect with the game, it's easy to prove. You just say, I didn't get the small cell servers. It's easy enough to prove. You're like, hey, my game doesn't work. Oh, prove it. Here you go. Wow, it doesn't work. Here's a new one. Ta-da! I don't. I understand digital is the future. I'm not sitting here, denying to myself, it's 50-50. Man, I swear it's 50-50. I swear it's 50-50. No, I'm not dumb. I get it. I get it. Digital's the future. But why is it that there's still a space for vinyl today? There's still a space for it. There's still spaces for these types of games. And I would say that discs are more relevant than vinyls. I would say discs are more relevant than vinyls. Because vinyls, it's a style, there's a certain way it sounds, but I can understand why if they turn around and said, hey, we're stopping printing vinyl tomorrow, I would get it. But there's an actual user base issue with owning physical. And another thing. There's another thing that people are also saying. They're sitting here and saying, because there's an argument that I saw, and it's a genuine argument. It's not a like, oh, you're stupid for saying this. There is an argument that is saying that they're already just selling you a digital code on a disc, as in, like, there's a digital copyright on the disc already, as in, even if you buy it physically and then you pop it in years later, it would still like not work because of XYZ. And I get that. I understand that that's a problem. So you know what I say? I say that, well, in that case, we should have better digital rights too.
Yep.
So I'm not just arguing for physical. I'm also arguing for better digital rights. I want to be able to resell my digital code. I want to be able to essentially, want to be able to barter with my physical code. I want to be able to trade it and do these things that are within my right as having ownership over the game. Because, sure, they're selling you a license even in the physical form. Okay, let's fix that too. Like, people are yelling, well, they're already selling you a license. Okay, so let's fix that too. Who says we only have to fix one thing? Base CGE take as usual. Thank you. You can purchase a computer game and install the entire game from disk. If only could return to that. I do miss that. I remember the first time I built a PC without a disk drive and it felt weird. I was like, man, I feel like I'm missing something.
Yeah.
I was sitting there, I was like, man, this is weird. I don't like it. My point is that what are we attacking? Oh, okay, guys, it was literally a boar. Why did you guys literally drop the apocalypse on him? What are we doing? Like, Jiminy Christmas, calm down. If we're like, let's fix this, because there is a problem with the gaming industry right now in general. Literally, there are a magnitude of problems. Just because we want physical games doesn't mean that we shouldn't complain about other problems too, like the fact that we don't have any access to be able to barter or trade our digital codes after activating them. We should be able to. There should be a PlayStation Marketplace. There should be some kind of marketplace where you can sell a game. Even if we got it to the point where if I buy a game on PlayStation Marketplace, I can only sell it to someone on PlayStation Marketplace and call it a day. Okay, I should be able to do that. And then we got layoffs left, right, and center. We got Because honestly, and this is where I'm kind of at right now, is that genuinely they either see I'm kind of like an all-in kind of guy. I don't like being sitting in the middle of things. So here's my thoughts. Either make everybody in gaming, if you are working exclusively for a studio, either make all game developers contractors or make them all unionized. One or the other. Pick one. Right? Pick them. Pick one. This in the middle of, oh, you're a contractor, kind of, but also you're kind of a full-time employee and you sort of get benefits, or you might not, and then also there's seniority, but there also isn't. No. You're a contractor. You're hired for a year. Here's how long your contract is. It ends here. You may get an extension afterwards. We're making no promises. Make it everything. Or, hey, you're unionized. You have benefits. You have this. You have this. You have this. You have this. Pick one. This for like because it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's like, am I hired? Do I have a job at the end of the month? I don't know. That happened to me where my contract was coming up and I didn't know if I had a job. I didn't know if I had a job at the end of the month. I had no clue. They brought me back as a contractor, and they're like, yeah, stuff is coming up. And I'm like, do I have a job? Do I not have a job? And it turned out, good for me, I had a job. Yay! And then 2 months later, I didn't have a job. I was like, oh, great. Awesome. Like, do I have a job? Do I not have a job? I don't know. And I think everything is napalm, basically. Shouldn't somebody know whether or not they have, I don't know, a job if they are doing the tasks competently and not stupid? Shouldn't I be able to, know that? Be like, yes, I have a job. As long as I continue to be a competent worker and not plant my French derriere on a printer and hit copy and forward it to everybody, I should be fine. My favorite pal, I really like. I'll show you my favorite pal because it's Orzerk, but I named mine Athena. This is Athena. She's dope. She's also really. She might be stronger than Blazemut. I don't know. Athena maybe 1307, 1335 she is stronger. Where did you get her? She is from my old save profile. I had perfectly bred her, and I was like, man, I don't want to get rid of her because she's super cool. But then they have the PAL genetic box where you can pull PALs from other saves. And so I have Athena, and she is violent. She's violent. In fact, I'm curious. Let me go back here. But yeah, it it kills me, man. It kills me. It absolutely kills me that in the entertainment industry, we still can't sit down and figure out, hey, you have a job or you don't have a job. And then all of a sudden it's just like, and boop, you don't have a job. Right? And it's just like, okay, what do you mean? Worse than the ones that... Yes, worse than Deathbringer. Athena is... In fact, I'm going to go give her a test. Because Athena has a specific move that is really, 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 really dumb. It's this. I can't even pronounce it. Polycoronos, Orzurk's exclusive skill, summons numerous thunder spears and hurls them at the enemy. The first spear is imbued with the power of lightning and explodes after a few seconds. So, watch this. Athena. We're going to go fight the boss again with Athena this time. Now remember, Blazamut was a... Blazamut is fire, and Lylene is grass, so obviously it's going to be super effective. But this is going to be a dragon type, so it's just going to be a normal effect against it's just going to be normal damage. And I want to see how fast Athena can take it down, even with just non-super effective damage. So yeah, actually, this will be a good test.
Yeah.
The explosion didn't even go off. That was just the initial damage. There's an Where's the kaboom? Where is the earth-shattering kaboom? just died instantly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where is the kaboom? Why is my phone getting lit up? Like, did you hear that? The ding, ding. Peak reference, but you're old is showing. Hey, listen. Where's the kaboom? Where is the earth-shattering kaboom? You're like, epic reference, but your old is showing. Ah! Here, but I'll expose myself a little bit on this. I can't remember if that is Duck Dodgers or if that is Bugs Bunny. Okay, here we go. All right, let's see how this goes. So remember, that's not super effective. Okay, so it's Bugs Bunny and Tweety Show. Okay, because there's because Marvin the Martian shows up on both Duck Dodgers and of course Bugs Bunny. I couldn't remember if it was from I couldn't remember if it was from Duck Dodgers or if it was from Bugs Bunny and Tweety. Athena is scary. Yeah, Athena just wrecks house and leaves no mercy. And remember, how far could we test this? She's currently level 27.
What?
Yeah, yeah, Athena is kind of strong. She kind of just shows up and says, "Sup," and just lays down the thunder and death happens. Like, I'm not going to be able to catch this, pal. 100% won't be able to catch this, pal. Athena missed the initial damage, and the explosion just nothing but a desiccated corpse. Like, okay, sure. Just one shot. Call it a day. Okay, sure. Doesn't know the word mercy. Mercy? Murdersy? No, mercy. Murdersy. No. Mercy. Mercy. Murdersy. On. Let me see. Someone needs to make a comment of Athena not knowing the word mercy and CG trying to teach it to her and failing. Mercy. Mercy. Murdersy. No! That'd be a hilarious comic. Athena. We don't want them to die. We do want them to die. No. We want them to live. We don't want them to live. Okay, level 38. Volcanic Cavern. So, keep this in mind as we go through, okay? Athena's level 28. This is a level 38 cavern. We're going to go command aggressive. All right, you ready? Let's go.
What?
Okay, I've never been in a cavern like that. Ah, I can't see. Thank you. So to give you an idea, I have no reason to be here. I shouldn't be here. Okay? Everything in here should... And if I die, that's very valid. Okay? I shouldn't be here. Okay? This cavern is... What? I am 10 levels under the suggested level. 10 levels. Okay? I have no business being here. Get out of the fire.
Yeah.
You're too far, Athena. What the hell? What was that? That wasn't even the attack I was expecting. I was like, okay, is she gonna jump up and do her thing? And she just blam, one shot, blit, railgun them. Like, what? Oh, okay, sure. Imagine if ARB had dungeons. I hope it does. I hope it does.
Yeah.
I really do. I really, really do. I was talking a Gallic gun, basically. I was talking with a buddy of mine earlier, and I was saying that I would really love for like the main story of A Realm Beyond to be like 20 hours, and then like the 100% the game is like 50 hours. I initially said it'd be really fun if it was like 80 hours to 100% the game, but that might be too much, or maybe not enough. I don't know. But if the game was like 20 hours to 20 hours to complete the main story, and then it was like 50 hours to get 100%, I would be happy with that. Did I come down this way? Yes, I did. Just... Okay. To give you an idea, this is the boss. Now, this might be a bad thing. I don't know. Does this follow the same rules as Pokemon, where 100-hour flight simulator seems like okay. So Athena, I don't know if this works where it's like electric has 0 effect. So let's find out. Your dragon fire is short, sweetie. Oh. Oh. And then there's Chunky. He's dead. Chunky. Chunky's dead. Shippity Christmas. I need to reiterate for those in the back, this dungeon is meant for suggested level 38. I am level 28, as is Athena through level sync. Oh, my adorable murder shark. Phantom Roy, how's it going? Rotary Ash donated 5 bits. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. How you guys doing? Oh man. Levels mean nothing to the goddess of war. I am the level. I am the bar. Like, I'm wondering, how far can I take it? Like, how stupid can I take this? Take care, Myas. Thanks so much for stopping by, man. Like, how silly can I push this? When will Athena finally break? We must limit test. I mean, if I can even get there safely. Yeah, Orzurk is specifically my Athena. There is levels to her insanity. I don't think she'd be able to beat Bjorn. Bjorn's level 70 or 60. I think that's a bit too much. I mean, I think. But let's see where we can... Let's see how far we can push this. Let's go here. No, Flying Pal has stamina for... Still does. Okay. Okay. This thing up here is going to be like level 50, if my memory serves correct. That's an, I believe that's Knocklem. Or Knockem. Knocklem. Knockem. Okay. Let's... Karen, is it Karen then Tune? Anyway, hi, how's it going? Now remember, Athena's limits right now are currently being limited, right? She's like... This isn't her final... this isn't even her final form! Okay, so now... let's see if I can... oh, that's awesome! You share the same birthday as Spyro. That's cool! Okay, here we go. Here we go. Reptyro. Level 50. Alright. Oh, nope, 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 nope. Don't want that. Okay. This shouldn't work. It's also ground type, so it... she took no damage! It's level 50! What? 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 What do you mean? What do you mean? I guess she's enhanced, but that's ridiculous. It was level 50, and it's a ground type, which is a... I mean, okay. Let's keep going, I guess. The Murder Queen. Yeah, what resistance? You know, remember how I said I was like, yeah, I don't think she'd be able to handle a level 60. I'm saying like, I may have to recant that statement. Dive, dive, dive. Look, I have a 1,300 health. Okay, if a boss looks at me in the wrong direction and farts wrong, I die. I turn to dust. Okay, I just explode. Okay, I should not be here. Okay, I am in peril. And yet, while I'm in peril, I also have Athena. Do a level 50 top. I'll try that next. Because that's level 30. I don't know where the 50 is. I have to travel all the way there. Alright. Let me go get the fast travel point. Okay, there's Knocklem there. Okay. Okay. This thing's level 55. Okay. Uh-oh. What's attacking me? Because it's going to kill me. Okay. Wait, no, Remember what I said? Save me, Athena! I woke, okay, Wait, how much damage did he take? This thing's level 55! Level 55? I don't care about that either. Okay, I literally don't even have armor to be able to sustain this heat. I don't even have the proper armor to maintain this. How many levels? What is? Who is? What is? How is? Someone explain to me. What are you? No, 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 no. What are you? What are you? Okay, so, yeah, I need to, huh. Huh. How does one deal with that? We're trying to limit test her, and we can't find the limit. Like, I can't. We're trying to limit test her, and we're finding the limit. There's just no way. I'm looking at a map right now of, like, where do I go next? And my genuine answer is I don't know. Do I go try to take on Paldius? There's no way that it could beat Frostallion Nocturnal. There's no way. Could it? Could she? I can't even get up there if I wanted to. There's someone who's level 70 that I could get to. But it would take me a while to get there. But there is a point that is a level 70 that I could try. If you guys are okay with me taking a long trek, there is a level 70. There's no way that she could be a level 70, could she? That's more than double her level. She's level 31 right now. If you guys are cool with me taking a quick long trek to get there. Alright. I'll do it. Jiminy Christmas. Alright. Let's see. It's going to be a bit of a flight, but here we go. Alright. I have my... Alright, time to fly. Let's go. Down on the water. And we gonna aim... I gotta be careful to kind of avoid Faybreak over there, because Faybreak has... Wait, why? Wait, well... Oh, no, that's bad. No, hold on. Do I still have Nightwing? I don't. Hold on. So...
What?
My little dragon flying companion would drown. So what I need is I need to go get I need to quickly go switch out for
What?
Nightwing, which is going to make it even slower. But you guys want it? We'll go do it. It'll take a little bit of a trek to get there, but we will still do it. You gotta get a saddle, and then you gotta get a saddle for a specific pal. Alright. So now we're gonna fast travel back once more. because Nightwing can't go in the water. It just stays on the top of the water. But it is the slowest PAL for flight. Just letting you guys know. It is slow. Alright, off we go. Goodness. Oh, she could join, get much more power. Much more power. I think what I'm about to do is probably going to kill me. Because everything on this island is like level 60 plus. And I'm level 31. And I will just get blasted. But. Yeah, we're not there yet. We're still going. Well, while we're on this little field trip, if you guys got any questions, ask them away. We got a little bit to go. Athena is Super Saiyan. That's saying it mildly. The undisputed GOAT of just wrecking house. I watch your Sparks and I agree with everything you said. I appreciate that, Rotary Ash. How would you do a 10-second review? I love it. Why? Because I paid for it. I love it so much, I would buy a second copy. That's how you do it. That's, you know... That's how you prove to someone real quick. Why do you love this game? Because I bought it twice. If A Realm Beyond does dungeons, do you think they should be like Breath of the Wild, or should they be like earlier Zelda games? I think that it would be cool to actually run it similarly to Breath of the Wild, but not have the same environment for every dungeon. That's one thing that I love Breath of the Wild. I think also I'm weird. I like Breath of the Wild more than I do Tears of the Kingdom. And people are like, but Tears of the Kingdom is just better Breath of the Wild. I'm like, yeah. I mean, like, sure, I guess, but there was just something about Breath of the Wild that was just really, 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 really cool. But if they do dungeons, just make the dungeons not the same environment. I would like, you know, oh, if you're in this area, the dungeons look like this. And then if you're in this area, the dungeons should look like this. And then if you're in this area, the dungeons should look like this. And, you know, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? That would be cool. That would be kind of neat. Oh, no, so I've done it as a tradition now. I get the game typically for free through digital because I get the review copies. And then I go out and I buy each version that is available physically. Just for the sake of supporting the game. I know psychotic behavior. Like, yeah, actually, I can tell you right here. It's in front of me. My PS4 copy of Spyro Reignited. Still sealed. Still sealed. This is a day one copy. Still sealed. My Xbox copy is open. I have a Switch copy that's still sealed. I was thinking about maybe trying to trade in Well, I don't want to trade this one in, but I want a copy that comes with the whole game on the disc because this is the day one edition. But yeah, I'm buying A Realm Beyond on every platform because for me, it's my way of supporting. Because here's the thing, right? And this is my thought process too, is that genuinely without these games, I wouldn't have a career. Full stop, right? I wouldn't have a career without these games. I wouldn't have a career. So why wouldn't I want to try and celebrate that, you know? That's kind of my thought process. My thought process is that why wouldn't I want to try to celebrate it? In some way. Oh, you know what would be really cool? I might reach out and ask. I would love it. It would be so cool if members of Team Spyro could get, like, a copy signed by, like, the team. But that would be hard because they're... A lot of them are remote, right? So it would literally have to be when they have, like, a party all brought together. So you would have a party where everyone comes together... And then you would have each person sign their copy. We're almost there, guys. Owen! Oh my gosh! Owen donated $50 through Super Chat. That's two $50 donations. That's incredible. Thank you so much, Owen. What is one feature that you're hoping for A Realm Beyond and one that you absolutely would not want in it? Okay. Skins. For me, that like what's one, like, because here's the thing. We got to know more about the game before we talk more about features. But I'll tell you one thing, that it doesn't matter. It does not matter what the game is going to play like, what the game is going to look like, what the game is going to go through. Skins. Give me skins. I want Spyro to... I want to be able to deck out my Spyro to look a certain way. I want him to look awesome. I would love if they brought Sir Spyro. Sir Spyro would be really, really cool. Skins like that. I think that would be really neat. Subtle skins, crazy dynamic skins, you name it, give it to me. But what's one thing I don't want? Oh, what do I don't want? Well, the one thing I didn't want, they already confirmed, which was they don't want it to be a GPS thing where it's like you set the GPS and you just fly there. No, please don't do that. Don't do that. Don't bring Blink. If you're gonna bring extra playable characters, I'm fine with that. If you bring Blink, I will consider it as a war crime against me, myself, and I. No Blink, please. No Blink. I don't want... I want Moneybags to come back, but not in the way that he was there before. I don't want, like, I want him back, but I don't want it just to be, oh, we've gated this area because of Moneybags. I wouldn't mind if it was... I would not mind if, like, they did something different with... What was the point I was going to make? I don't mind if they were going to do something different with Moneybags, if they kind of had him still gating things. But for it to be a little bit more different, because I don't want just, oh, you can't. But if he was like a shopkeep where you had to buy upgrades from him, I would be fine with that. I just don't want, well, this area is gated. Or if it was, it would be something that's like simple, right? It would be, because it doesn't make sense. I mean, also, why is Moneybags there? How did he get there in the first place? But we'll see. I'm excited for the new characters too. Sort of like how a Hero's Tale. Sort of, yeah. I wouldn't mind if we went the Hero's Tale route. I wouldn't mind that. But I don't want Russian Moneybags either, because Russian Moneybags was nightmare fuel. I'd be fine without Moneybags being in the game. I would be fine too. Maybe Moneybags followed Spyro because he knew you get that money. Get that money. Get that money. All right. That's the island there, ladies and gents. I think. Yeah, that's the island. All right. I am 70% confident that that's the island, because you got the bluey part over there. The bluey and purple part. And then what on earth is that? That is a base. We're gonna go around it here. You know what would be funny, Star? I actually like that idea. What if it's Moneybags' kid? Hi, Spyro. My dad told me about you, and I'm here to help for a small fee, of course. It would be adorable if he was wearing clothes that were like too big. What if it was Moneybags and his kid, and like for the small things gated, it's the kid, and then for the bigger things, it's Moneybags. And the kid's got like a bag he's dragging around. He's a little cub, because Moneybags is a bear, so he's a little bear cub, right? He's got a monocle, but it's too big, so he's got it taped on his eye. He's dragging a bag of gems around. He's got a suit on, but it's like flooded him, and you see him just walking around. He's dragging the bag behind him. That would be adorable. And then you could even have moments where it's a joke, where he's trying to make a deal with Spyro, but Spyro's just like, he's like, that'll be 10 gems. He goes, I'll give you 8. He's like, 6. And then he gets it down to, like, he reduces the price because the kid doesn't understand. You go down, like, you're supposed to, go up, but he goes down in price, and he messes it up. No, that's... Give it to me. Now I want a father... I want Moneybag and Sons. Moneybags and Sons. Bowser Jr. style character, yes. And he goes to pull out a pocket watch, but it's too big, so he pulls it out. It's massive. Insufficient cold resistance. I'm heading to an island of literal lava. Insufficient cold resistance. Moneybags Jr. Yes. Mini bags. Money bags in his coin purse, sons. Yes. Please. Mini bags. Money bags junior. And again, all of his stuff is like hand-me-downs from money bags. And it's all way too big on him. And he's a bear cub. It's so cute. He just looks like a teddy bear. And he's trying his best, and Spyro gives him the gems out of pity. Because the kid is genuinely trying. And he feels bad. Alright. Here's the thing, okay? The level 70 is up there. But let's test against a level 66. Okay? Okay, you're struggling on... Oh, here we go. We hit. I think we hit the limit. I think we found the limit. Yeah, I think we found the limit. She's only doing 1 damage. She's still holding strong, though, man. But, ladies and gents, we found the... That's not fair either. If you think, oh, he took... No, these guys got involved. But we found the limit. We found the limit. Well, why won't you die? Sorry, Spyro, I can't let you pass without gems. What if I give you this cool leaf? Deal! Yeah, exactly. Exactly. At the end, with many bags, and he takes his son's money. He earned the whole game for safekeeping. Yeah, but the kid's oblivious to it. He's like, "Oh, you're the greatest, Dad. Thanks for keeping all my money safe." And everyone's like, "Urgh." And everyone's staring. And then, but everyone sees it, and he goes, "What? I have to make a living somehow." You hear him, I'm saving for his college and a new boat. I don't know if Athena would have won, but you know what? Besides the point, she put up a good fight. Thing was over double her level, and she still held on pretty strong. Yes, for those wondering, I do have. It's the Swedish mustache. It's the Swedish chef look. Hurdy. Such a great father figure. And it would be heartbreaking too, because the kid loves his dad to death. He's like, "Oh, I love you, Dad." And everyone's just like... we go. Okie dokie. I just realized I haven't taken a break. Palworld really does that to you. I need to go drink some water, and I need to go stretch and move. Give me a few minutes. Oh, my knees. I'll be back. Okay. Ugh. Okay. We're going to be wrapping this up in a few minutes. Ugh. I'll wrap this up in a few minutes, and then we'll go to Q and
What?
R. I've gained so many levels, I don't even know where to begin. Like, wow. Oh! Huh. That felt like pain. OP Athena. Yeah, that was hilarious. Athena just literally just wrecking house in the best sense of the word. Just absolutely destroying everything. It was so good. Highlight of the stream. Someone you need a chiropractor. I need a lot of things. I need a lot of things. I need a chiropractor. I need right now, things are a bit rough in Canada. So, you know, we're trying to save money wherever we can, but boy howdy, it's rough right now. Losing here, I'll go to Q&R now because I can already feel myself beginning to rant. I'm going to take up the rest of the stream ranting about this probably, so I do apologize, but we're getting to a point where things are just really bloody stressful. We're trying, but losing the Etsy store due to tariffs has been like nightmare. Absolute nightmare. Quick question, how much is GTA 6 in Canada? Bum, 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 bum. No. I need a source on this. Please tell me you're lying. Oh. 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 That's just I'm just gonna let you read it. You know, there are times where I think, man, video games is such a great, fun hobby. And then there are times where I'm just like, No. 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 I hate that I asked that question. You're like, I hate that I asked. Put it back. Put it back. It's like just put it back. What time is it in Canada? For my section in Canada, it is 10:50. Is that a Goku print? Yes, it is a Goku print. This is actually one of my first prints that I did. One of my very first prints I had did on my 3D printer. One of my more complex ones. And then I hand painted the actual yellow aura. And yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. And I thought this was really awesome. Rotary Ash donated $5 through Super Chat. Thank you so much, Rotary Ash. Canadian Guy, we all support you in every way possible for all that you do for us. Everything will get better. We take one day at a time. Thank you so much, Rotary Ash. I do appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. As that is very sweet of you. Thank you. Yeah, it's tough right now. It's tough right now, and I'm trying. I'm trying, man. I am trying to, but I am very happy about A Realm Beyond being out now, both personally, professionally, in every way. If they're like, personally, professionally, in every way you can write it, I am so happy that A Realm Beyond is out. Or not out, but at least announced. Um, it's been. I still thought that if A Realm Beyond wasn't announced by the end of the year, that I was going to say, you know what? I think it would have been time for me to hang up the YouTuber manacle. That was on my brain. I literally was talking to my wife about it, and I told her, I was just like, if nothing happens this year at all, this might be the last year. Like, this might be it. But that's not what happened. That's not what happened. And I'm very grateful for that. We just know I would love a CTR too. Do you think that a Skylanders reboot or a Banjo reboot by Toys for Bob is more inevitable? I think Banjo Kazooie from Toys for Bob is more possible. at the moment because it was quite literally mentioned. It was quite literally mentioned directly. And while Skylanders, you could sit there and say, well, Skylanders was also mentioned. Yes, it was more mentioned as an aside. It was more mentioned as like, yeah, that would be cool to return to one day. It wasn't like, oh, yeah, we can't wait to return back to that. It was like, yeah, that would be cool to go back to that at some point, right? Banjo-Kazooie has kind of been called out directly by Toys for Bob. So I think that I think that we are I think that we're most likely going to see a Banjo before Skylanders. Cuz here's the thing. Here's how you bring back Skylanders at the moment in my brain. I'll be honest with you. This is how you bring back Skylanders. One of two things. You either bring it back for the PC as an RTS, kind of like League of Legends, Pokemon Unite, which I think probably wouldn't work because people would just see it as a League clone and say nah. Or, and this might be a really, really hot take, you bring it back as a genuine mobile game. And I can hear people already, listen to me. Listen to me, okay? Right now, do you know what is on mobile that's fun? In my opinion, there's a lot of garbage on mobile. There's just a lot of garbage. There's a lot of games on there that I really, 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 really could not give two flying farts about, okay? There's so many games on the App Store that I'm like, I don't want to download anything because it all looks awful. It all looks like garbo. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. But I feel like Activision and Xbox have not been taking a good opportunity on the mobile market. They haven't. They have now. With that said, they have King. And King has Candy Crush, which is still very big. But it is not bringing in remotely the same amount of income that King once did. And you can see that because out of everything that is coming out of Activision, King is the company that's been reduced the most. King has had a lot of people let go, and they just sit there and they're not releasing anything new. They're not releasing anything new. The last thing that they released, to my knowledge, now I might be incorrect, and I'm open to correction. The last thing that King released was Crash on the Run, and the monetization scheme for that game was awful. The game itself was not bad. I actually sat there, I was like, yeah, this game is not bad. And then as soon as I saw the monetization scheme, I realized, oh, this is going to be bad. They need to change this, and they need to change it now because the monetization scheme that they used is ancient. I'm talking me in high school, ancient. I'm talking iPhone 3G. I'm talking what do you mean you're putting a monetization scheme that has died a decade ago when the game came out? That scheme was awful. And here's the thing. The game had a crazy amount of downloads. It was on par to pass Mario Run. That's incredible. That's Nintendo. They were on the rise to pass by downloads in Mario Run. And guess what? They barely made any money off of that game. They barely made any money off of Crash on the Run. Why? Because the monetization scheme was terrible. It was awful. I don't know what King was doing. I don't know what King was doing. I really don't know why. So, let me say this. There's an opportunity to turn around and make something fun. I'm going to give a shout out to a different game company, a different game. And it's a game that I discovered while I was at PAX East, and it is I'm excited to see them grow. I genuinely am. I'm genuinely excited. Hold on a second. So, I met a guy named Joe at PAX East, and he has this game that it actually has one of the original minds behind Skylanders behind it. It's called Earthlings, or Earthlings. AE is Earthlings with the A and the E swapped. Okay? This game is a fun little game that just launched on Kickstarter. And has these little cute cubes that you can tap on your phone that connects it. Super popular, super fun. So here's the thing. Yes, Caroline, you got the spelling right. Here's the thing. One of the original minds of Skylanders is on there, which is incredible. You can do the same thing for Skylanders. Do a very similar thing. Have it be a mobile game. Have it be a mobile game. And if you want to release physical stuff, you just take it and go boop on your phone and it reads it and then you can play. Almost every phone now has an IR reader. Or NFC reader that it can read. Nearly every phone does. Make a Skylanders game. You don't need to do the physical, and if you do want to do the physical, okay, fine. But Activision needs to jump on these mobile stuff and not just Call of Duty. It can't just be COD Mobile. Do something different. Make it so that people want to jump in and try it. That's all I'm going to say. All right, I have enough time for one more question, and then I gotta go. I gotta go. But yeah, put Skylanders on mobile. Oh. Hey! Crystal Creature Tattoos donated $20 super chat. You are the best. Aw, thank you. Thank you. That's incredible. Thank you. What's the best dessert of all time in your opinion? Best dessert. My problem with dessert is that I can only have a limited amount of dessert before I'm like, I'm kind of sick of this and kind of, feeling icky. But I will tell you, creme brulee's up there. Creme brulee's up there. I will tell you, when I sit there, I have a thing for like cinnamon sugar, like cinnamon sugar stuff is really good. And I don't know if this is the greatest dessert of all time, but for me, it's one of them. Cinnamon sugar donuts with like, there's a specific one that so like a churro, a fried churro, those fried donut holes from Taco Bell, so anything that's like pastry with cinnamon sugar, you got me. You got me. That's something that I absolutely love. I love that. But when I think, there's one that I think of specifically that I really, really, really like. There was this limited time donut at Tim Hortons that was this apple spice donut. And what it was that it was cinnamon sugar and apple. And on the inside, the cinnamon twist. Yep, cinnamon twist. And on the inside, it was filled with like a vanilla. It was like with a vanilla filling. And the outside was like an apple spice. And whenever we went to Tim's, there was a very short limited time that they held them. But when we did had them, they were like crack. I tried one to give you an idea. And my wife is in chat, so she can remind me. I can't remember if I tried it first or she. I believe I tried it first. And I think she was in therapy. And what happened was that I went to Tim Hortons and they had a thing that was like this apple cinnamon donut. I went through, I bought it, I tried it, and I sat there. I was like, oh no. Oh, this is really good. So what I did is I went back through the drive-thru and I ordered like 4 more, ate another one, waited for my wife to come out, and she had a rough therapy. She tried it and immediately was like, oh my gosh. And we were looking at each other like, this is dangerous. And it got to the point where we would drive up to Tim's. Hand over my heart. This is what happened. Hey, how many of the, the first thing we would ask before we order our coffee is, how many apple cinnamon donuts do you have? They're like, we got 6. We'll take them all. We'll take them all. And then I would have like, I would have 1 or 2 across 2 days, and then the kids would have some. And then the next time we go through Tim's, it was like, hey, how many you got? We got 10 today. Okay, we'll take 6 today, right? Or it's like, oh, we got 3. We'll take all 3. Like, and then it got to the point where my wife was making a joke with the lady that was working at Tim's, and my wife was like, have you tried it? And she's like, no, I haven't. And my wife goes, try it. So the next time my wife goes through, she's like, I tried the donuts. They're so good. And I was like, I know, right? And then she was like, listen, they said that they're going out next week, so get them while they're here. And so what we knew, we had an insider with the donuts, and we were getting them all the way up until they were out. And we were like, no! We're like, no, we're like the one thing. But maybe it's a good thing they got rid of it, because if they still had them today, oh no. So I love a cinnamon sugar dessert, like a churro, but cinnamon sugar, and then with like a vanilla inside, like a nice, so you got like a really sweet and spicy and warm outside with a decadent, delicious. That's, I love that for cakes. You'll buy 1,000 of them. Do the parent thing and get them at late night without the kid. Did y'all do the parent thing and get them late at night without the kids? No, but we did get them and hide them. We would do that. We did get them and hide them. So, yeah. All right, ladies and gents. That's all the time I have for tonight. Thank you all so much for watching. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll be back tomorrow at noon. At noon. With a Spiral Yap Sesh. Yap Sesh. Yap Sesh. Yap Sesh. Yap Sesh. So, make sure to be back here at noon tomorrow for a Yap Sesh. We'll be chatting about Spyro. And, yeah. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video and our live stream. Time for the countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bye.